Hi Aquarius, how are you guys? Thank you for joining me today here on my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. We are going to do a fun little tarot spread for you. This is in honor of the Pisces full moon that is happening Friday the 13th. I'm wearing my monster t-shirt on the occasion. A full moon on Friday the 13th. I love it. Ooh, great card just popped out. I love that. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Do keep in mind with these general messages, not everything I say will resonate with all the Aquarians out there. I welcome you to come into this with an open heart and an open mind. If something doesn't seem to fit or make sense, you can release it. You don't need to take on that message, that energy. Come into this with your highest vibe though, right? If it's not your message, it's not your message, and that's okay. And if it is, that's fantastic. I hope you gain some clarity and insight from this. Sometimes messages will resonate later down the line in the future, and if they do, that's great. That's fantastic. It means it was your message. Check your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus if you want additional messages, and check out all the other amazing tarot readers there are on YouTube. Don't limit yourself to one, right? These are free readings, right? That's awesome. That's so great. You can get so many cool messages. So let's see the energy I'm picking up for the Aquarians out there, what we are going to get for this Pisces full moon, which is all about release and transformation and what needs to be embraced as we start new cycles, right? Welcoming new abundance, new love, new opportunities into our life in whatever forms you are searching for, right? What else do you need to know? Everything else is going to be written in that description box somewhere down below. As always, I ask if you can like, share, subscribe. That helps me a lot. Otherwise, let's hop in. So Aquarius, what needs to be released? You have the Wheel of Fortune. So before I go too far into this, I'm going to clarify it. The Three of Earth. Okay. So the Three of Earth is either the card of teamwork, but interestingly enough, there are no teams here. It can also be the card of aligning your mind, body, and spirit. It's expansion from the two, right? With two, there's an option, there's a decision. With three, there's been progress. Threes are cards of progress. So looking out, almost in the distance, right? With this sort of angel-like looking woman, looking to see the results of the project and thinking that, I think it's something like you're waiting for the reward. You're waiting for the good fortune. You're even waiting for the wheels to progress you forward. Interestingly enough, I almost just got the metaphor of the idea of like a car coming to pick you up and take you to the next destination. So this is actually going to be similar to who else's reading was like this. It may have been Pisces. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's the idea of, I think you need to take the wheel into your own hand. You need to be the driver. There may be fear or hesitation or something that's holding you back from going after new opportunities of abundance. It's like you can see it, you can visualize it, but something about that wheel, it's not turning, or that cog, it's getting stuck in the mud, or it's getting like there's a snag in the wheel. It's something, it's like the gears aren't moving the way they are supposed to. And metaphorically, there may be a person standing in the way of that forward movement. Maybe that's a family member. Maybe that's a romantic partner. Maybe it's a Pisces. Maybe it's a Sagittarius. You have two cards here of expansion, though, with Jupiter energy of the Wheel of Fortune. And again, Three of Earth is progress. Progress in the workplace, progress on your physical health. Progress on the home, doing, it could be like home repairs, working on your house, getting your house all did up and pretty. But it could also be work in the home in terms of family, you know, building a family, building a legacy, a dynasty, I just heard. I don't know why that word came out. That's funny. Might be a Scorpio you're dealing with. Or a Capricorn for that matter. Okay, so partnership is coming up. The Two of Cups. So what I'm getting from this is the temptation or the idea to leave maybe the team behind, maybe two people, to go after something on your own, or the idea of thinking that there may be better prospects for you, either romantically or it could be a business partner. It's someone you mesh well with. in the future, by taking maybe, I don't know if it's the road less traveled, but by going off on some new adventure, right? By, you know, throwing your stuff in your car and going on a road trip, going on some sort of adventure, you may have the idea that there's something better out there for you. But my hesitation on that, because ordinarily I would say, great, that's good energy. The worst that can happen is that you learn some lessons of what not to do. But the idea of what could be gained from that situation is huge. That could be life-changing. What's throwing me off, though, is that this is coming up in what needs to be released. So I'm wondering if the expression, the grass is always greener, the idea that you're not actually appreciating what's already right in front of you. You're so fixated on, you're so fixated on the future that maybe you're missing out on really important opportunities in the now, in the moment. There's something valuable about the status quo, which is really interesting. I frequently do not say that phrase a lot in my readings, so interesting. Aquarius, of course you would have the wacky reading. I love it. I love my Aquarians. So what I'm also getting from this too is the idea of wanting, again, this is so wacky and opposite of what this spread is about. Some of you are so desperate to get out of a cycle that you're almost skipping the process of closing it out properly. You're looking before you leap in a lower vibration of like the Fool energy, which does have, you know, that Aquarian energy to it anyway, as well as Aries. Again, the Aries being the head, the start of the zodiac, right? You're wanting to like start some sort of new process, but at what cost? Is it a romantic partnership that you would be leaving behind? Is it a job that is actually quite emotionally fulfilling but maybe doesn't pay you a lot? I'll reiterate, but I am just getting very focused forward on ushering in new cycles and new changes. But there's something, I mean, again, it's coming through as what needs to be released. So I would say some of my Aquarians need to, at least for the time being around the Pisces full moon, focus on the now. It's okay to take stock of what you're not happy with, but again, I'm getting this sense of like trying to push forward in like, you know, your vehicle's broken down, your tire's stuck in the mud, it's pouring rain, you know, you don't have a jacket on, like all this like obstacles you're trying to push through anyway because you're so desperate to make it to your destination. But it's like metaphorically the universe wants you to stop. They want you to stop and recognize, I mean, the elements. Like look up at the stars in the sky. Appreciate the person you're with who's helping you get out of this jam. It's something like, even in times of like crisis, or even in times of disappointment, or something that goes against expectation, there's actually something valuable, something to be gained in really like sinking in, settling in to what's going on. There's that Fool card that we were talking about, looking before you leap. I'm just getting, you need to close out the cycle like organically, harmoniously. When it's time to push forward, when it's time to go, you'll know because it won't be such a struggle. You won't be fighting for it. I am actually getting good vibes. I don't know if you're with a water sign or just, I mean, this could be anyone in your life. Again, a work buddy, a romantic partner, a family member. There's love here. There's camaraderie, there's a good match, a good fit, good teamwork, right? If you're trying to build something, maybe this person would be a good outlet to collaborate with. What's interesting to me is that this idea of you looking towards the future, sorry, my camera freezes. and again, as I was saying, Fool energy, potentially going off on your own. This Wheel of Fortune has 3 animals depicted in it, and I think that's significant because what you would be leaving behind is potentially a team. Even if that team to you is 2 people, maybe it's 3 people, maybe it's your parents. I'm sorry, Aquarius. It's almost like they want to come with you. They're helping push the wheel forward. They're getting it unstuck from the mud so that the vehicle, the chariot, the car, whatever, can move forward. That's sort of what I'm saying. You have a valuable person or people in your life that are going to help you, like, when shit hits the fan, they come to your, I hate to use the word come to your rescue because that implies that you're not capable, and that's not what I mean, but they're your tribe. They're your soul tribe. They're your buddies. They got you. By wandering off on your own, I'm not saying there isn't value in that, but what needs to be released is, again, this urgency to move things forward, to just get the hell out of Dodge. It might not be time to do that. I'm sorry it's a little bit vague, but I have to admit the messages are a little bit wishy-washy here. Let's see what else we can get. Now, I'm going to take the Fool card because we had mentioned that, and that's your energy. And I feel like this comes up for you quite a bit in my readings, Aquarius. So what needs to be embraced? I will say don't make foolish decisions. I mean, that's kind of an obvious one. Fool in a lower vibration. Don't make foolish decisions, right? The Sun. And look, you guys, there's partnership there. There's joy. There's creativity among the group or among the pairing. Potentially with a Leo or a fire sign. Aries and Sagittarius as well. This to me is such a card of living in the moment, right? It's about skipping through a field of flowers with the sun on your face or the sun on your back, right? Dancing, singing, holding hands, laughing. It's such a light-hearted, joyous energy. This is what needs to be embraced. Is this missing from your life, Aquarius? And if so, how do you get it back? Maybe this is a specific destination for some of you. Maybe your urge to get away, maybe you're just stuck in a rut. You're so sick of the same day, every day, 9 to 5, status quo, almost like the Truman Show, like nothing ever changes here. I need to leave this small town. I'm destined for bigger things. Maybe some of you just need to change it up and go on a vacation. Go on a weekend trip with your person. I feel like it's ominous that you guys may get in or you may get a flat tire and end up by the side of the road. That could be something that's coming in here. But if that's the case, as we were saying, your person or your people, they're going to help you get your tire unstuck. They got you, Aquarius. There's a lot of love here. The Messenger of Air. So someone's seeking more information or knowledge. Sorry, guys. So the Messenger of Air sometimes can be children or someone younger, someone more naive. It's basically they're sharpening their skills, but their skills have to do with their intellect, with their knowledge, with their mental capacity, new thoughts, new information, processing the data, the analysis, the analytics. I think this has to do with really taking stock or thinking through the details of what is going to bring you joy. There's something about illumination, seeing things as they truly are, not maybe when you're in sort of this dark cloud energy, if I need to get out of here, I'm feeling suffocated, so desperate to leave the small town behind. I'm sort of saying that as a joke or as a metaphor, but for some of you that might be true. This may also represent literally a messenger, potentially another air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Of course, it could be you. Communicating the need or the desire to reestablish this like joy and purity, a rebirth of the relationship. I'm just getting stuck in a rut, and maybe that whole like wheel symbolism, getting the car stuck in the mud or tire stuck in the mud, maybe that's just an entire like metaphor for this relationship. Maybe you're going through a bit of a rut. Maybe you've lost the passion. Maybe you've lost the joy. You know, those late summer nights where you used to go out and catch fireflies and run through the field and feel like children. That was coming up here. Maybe it could have been that got lost when like marriage or like very stern commitment or discussion about it was was spoken about. I'm almost getting, this is like the elephant in the room of like, something in this relationship has changed. How do we fix it? How do we go back to the joy that we used to feel? This Three of Earth could also be someone looking at a third prospect, and it doesn't necessarily mean romantic, but this could be the idea of this person wants to move to New York City to get their dream career, their dream job, but meanwhile, you know, you guys live in whatever, Oregon, and your person's kind of like, what? Are you going off on your own, or like, am I your person? Am I going with you? I don't remember if it was your reading, but I did a reading similar to this. And yeah, it was about communicating with your partner about, is there joy in your life? And if there isn't, how do we fix it? How do we revive it? How do we let the sunshine in? That song came up for Scorpio, which is your song, The Age of Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In. It always makes me think of the 40-year-old virgin. He wakes up in bed at the very end of the movie. He's finally lost his virginity, and it goes into like this weird musical number where they're all like dancing in a field, right? In like these white linen cloth outfits, and they're singing Let the Sunshine In. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The dawning of a new day. Some of you, it's just like you're just stuck. It feels like nothing ever changes, nothing ever goes your way. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out. It's just everything is exactly the same. I think you're looking for some sort of fun and adventure. And the message still stands. Some of you do want to take the leap of faith. Just go off and figure it out. But because the Fool is coming up in your release, it is something about look before you leap, or don't jump into things without thinking it through. Here there is the need to really go over the facts and the details, because there's still something to be learned. This isn't the king or the queen. There's still information that it's like it's being absorbed. It's settling in. It's the card of a student, of studying, right? Acquiring new information. And I hate to say it, but there is something about this. It's like the happiness you're seeking, it's almost saying it's always existed in your own backyard. You just didn't see it that way. Because happiness, it comes from within, right? It's a feeling. It shouldn't, your joy, your happiness, the elation that you feel, it should not be codependent on somebody else in your life. Certainly they can contribute to it, right? They can make the best even better. But something about you need to have ever-flowing love and happiness on your own. And I mean, you're human. Yes, you're going to have dark days. I acknowledge that. But some of you aren't realizing by throwing caution to the wind and moving across the country, or with this or that, I'll figure out the details later. You might actually come to find that what brings you joy the most is already what's in the familiar. You just like weren't utilizing it to the best of your ability. Like you just weren't tapping into it in the correct way. I'm almost getting like magician vibes, and ironically that's the bottom of your deck. The tools on your table have always been there. It's just, it's changing up the recipe a little bit. You know, a dash of this, a dash of that, you know, some cups, some swords, some wands, some pentacles. It's getting the ingredients right so that the life you already have brings you joy. And it's like once you reach that state of, oh, I like this. This makes me feel good. Take that put it in your car, and then go to a new place. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is value in trying to cash in on the maximum amount of joy and experience, or maybe it's your hobby, or I don't know, something that you really enjoy doing. That's what can be brought outside the status quo, the norm, the house, the home, whatever is kind of giving you almost like that 7-year itch. You don't have any sevens, but that's sort of what's coming up here. There's a way to reinvigorate this. Now, maybe that's a romantic relationship. Maybe that's your life. Maybe that's your job. Adding something to the mix, you know, changing up the recipe to do something a little bit differently that makes a huge amount of impact. That is going to usher in the changes that you're desiring. And again, I'm not saying you can't go off on this new adventure. You know, you're looking off into the future, into the distance. Sorry, Aquarius, my camera froze. What I'm saying, you're looking off into the future, into the distance. Wherever you want to go, great. That's fantastic. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, like, get your ducks in a row first. Make sure you understand the real reason why you're moving. Are you moving because you feel like you're lacking partnership or emotional fulfillment in some way? Are you neglecting the fact that happiness exists around you in your immediate environment, with your partner, with your family? But you may not be taking into account that by losing those very key aspects or factors in your life, you may be setting yourself up for disaster. It's almost like by understanding what this sun card means to you, by embracing this joy, after the sun comes judgment. That is when it will be time to make a judgment call on where you want to travel next. Following judgment is the world card. Maybe you're traveling across the world to a new city, to a new job. It doesn't have to be physical travel, but there's something to be gained by living in the moment and appreciating what's around you and taking stock of why that makes you feel good, or why it doesn't, for that matter. I'm getting like assessment mode here. I'll be interested to see if you have any pentacles come up. So what is your advice or guidance, Aquarius? The Ace of Swords. Yeah, think it through. Make sure it is a decision based in truth, in fact, in logic. It's almost like you're still the student of your own life. You're still the student of, like, the sun. I know that's kind of a wacky way of putting it, but you're still understanding what this joy is. And maybe how to tap into that energy, right? Maybe some of you are struggling with depression. I could absolutely see that. Maybe this is learning to understand how to train your brain to view things as glass half full, to view things as full of possibility, optimistically, right? And you have the Two of Fire. Absolutely. Taking that new path, travel, potentially for work, right? Career endeavors, and also spirituality with wands, work, energy. What motivates you? What inspires you? There's different paths you can take, but what's trumping the different paths is the one truth, or the one thought that I'm just getting. It like pinpoints directly what it is you are trying to go after. Here it feels a little haphazard. It feels a little bit chaotic, or again, foolish. No shade, Aquarius, you know I love you. But this is like, don't make a decision completely based on this lackluster feeling of, I don't really like it here. I'm just gonna do this. I keep hearing the word repercussions, and I don't like to do fear mentality or fear-based readings. That's just not what I do. These are meant to help you and encourage you. There is huge potential for happiness, but you're still learning what that even means to you. So when you're making a decision about where to move, how to move forward, the light that is like the lighthouse that is beckoning you, that is calling you, there's a need to understand why that is, and be very, very clear about your truths, about this knowledge, about the facts. And again, analysis, data. But I will say this is very encouraging for those who are looking to start anew, to change things up and get out of old cycles, because it's an ace. It is a new beginning. You've closed out all this mental baggage you've maybe been carrying around with like 10 of Swords energy, and now it's time to start fresh. This like crown of illumination, a new thought, a new idea, something has clicked, and now it's like, I get it now. illumination. And for some of you, it may have to do with your partnerships. Maybe you're looking to reconcile with someone, maybe from your past, someone from your childhood. But if that's the case, I don't even know if that thought has dawned on you yet. So let me know in a couple weeks if this was your story, Aquarius. All right, let's throw you one of these universe cards and we'll wrap it up. What does Aquarius need? What does Aquarius need to know and see? My fearless freedom lights up the world. Well, there's that sun. Yeah, some of you are itching for freedom. I absolutely sense that. I mean, that's what the Fool is. He's completely free. He has no mental baggage. He has no emotional baggage, right? He's ready to set off on a new course. He looks optimistically to the future. That's key here, because if you're in Fool energy, there isn't this idea of running away from something. Because ultimately, that's what I was saying here. It's like you're trying to rush the closing out of a cycle. If you are feeling stuck but haven't emotionally or mentally dealt with something, again, put it to rest, judgment, right? That card that comes after the sun, it's going to screw up your path. And I hate saying it like that, but I said this to Leo as well. It's like you're not dealing with a very heavy truth. You're not dealing with like the heart of the matter, getting to the facts of why do you want to? Why do you want to go off this ledge? Why do you want to jump and go after this thing? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you need to be very clear and understand why you want that. Because if you go out into the universe not knowing what you want, the universe isn't going to know what you want, and they're not going to be able to help you out, right? They're not going to be able to match your vibe when you don't even know what your vibe is. This is about illumination and seeing things very, very clearly. And there is something about freedom here. Freedom from like the darkness or your dark thoughts. Again, for some of you, you might be struggling with depression. This even looks like a commercial for depression, right? With people running through fields of flowers. And I don't mean to laugh, but just like the comic idea of, you know, what the media portrays as, oh, living a happy life. It's like this highly romanticized version of our everyday life. This could almost be expectation versus reality. You want your life to feel like this, but do you understand what this is or why you want it? It just comes down to like your truth, your inner truth, being very real with yourself, being analytical, which you can do, Aquarius. You're an air sign. Something about the free, coming to this conclusion sets you free to go off on this new path where you can embrace the unknown. You can embrace this wild sense, this longing for adventure, for freedom. Because some of you are going through something difficult, and it's like by traveling, you're spreading your light, potentially your stories, you're sharing your experiences that are going to bring light to other people. It's like you are going to be the light in their dark sky. But something about it, it's like you haven't completely conquered your own demons, Aquarius. So it's like you have to practice what you preach. If you're going off to make these major changes and these, whatever it is you're going after, you can't have hang-ups that are calling you back from the past, that devil that rears his head, that are triggers. You don't want that. The Fool doesn't have that, so it's like, don't be a false fool. All right, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. This video was a little bit clunky, but I hope whoever needed to hear it did. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates for you, and I will see you beautiful Aquarians next time. Bye, guys.